I think the tournament that you've mentioned, you're referring to 2014 USA Cricket, the USA Cricket Association. Now, going back a little bit, 2015, the ICC Americas Championship was the first tournament that wound up happening. But some people may forget, 2014, there was a big splash that was made. Don Lockerbie was the first CEO of USA Cricket, who was the person you were initially dealing with in a lot of the discussions and groundwork trying to get the facility built in Indianapolis, the Indianapolis World Sports Park. He left in late 2010, early 2011, and then Darren Beasley took over. And he came to an agreement with you and the city to host the USA Cricket National Championships in 2014.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Well, but that event that was supposed to be hosted in Indianapolis, it blew up. That blew up. USACA tore apart that agreement.
Let me be clear. You want me to talk from my side of this?
Let's go. Yeah, let's hear your side of the story on this. Because
Lockerbie was great. Don was always terrific. Not much question about that. So my original intent for a tournament, because my understanding there was no national tournament at the time. Am I right? I don't think there was.
It went through a couple different. It wasn't always a guaranteed thing, and it needed. Yeah. There was not a stability there in terms of it. There being a guaranteed, set in stone date on the calendar that there was always going to be a national tournament. It was basically a lot of times it was dependent on did they actually have the funds, and if they did, it was just kind of a last minute thing that would spruce up. And what was attempted in Indianapolis was this was kind of supposed to be the first time where they would actually circle a date on the calendar 6, 7, 8, 9 months out in advance, plan for it, make it a big event. And I remember there was a press release about the matches were going to be shown on ESPN. ESPN3 had a TV rights contract, so they were really going to make it a genuine event, not just some kind of fly-by-night, everybody just shows up here today, gone tomorrow. It was really supposed to be built up to be again, not just a local community event like they had traditionally been in the past, despite being labeled a national championship. This had TV rights to it. This was going to be broadcast around the USA and around the world. And then lots of crazy things started happening. So like from your
point, my original intent, because there was no national tournament, and I was a trustee of the QS Conference of Mayors. I was pretty prominent in the mayor community around the nation. I was going to write 7 mayors in the different cities and say, send your best team over and we'll have a national championship here in Indianapolis. That was what I was going to do because there was no organization that seemed to be doing anything, right? I wasn't that familiar with USA Cricket at the time. And ICC has been great all along, but I also got the sense, I don't speak for ICC, but they were not overly thrilled with USA Cricket. Okay?
To put it mildly.
Yeah. So as them being their representative in the cricket world, not happy. Yeah. So we're doing this. I'm holding meetings. We've got websites. I've got the convention people involved. I got the sports people involved. I've got all of this going on, and half of them are looking at me. Are you sure, Mayor? This sounds crazy to me. And they're saying that because USA Cricket would not respond. Wouldn't return emails, wouldn't talk to us on the phone. I was going to write 7 mayors and say, let's just have a good old tournament. I'll go get a big trophy and we'll have a good old time and do this. And I found out, no, wait, we can work with these guys. Now, Indianapolis is good at partnering with people. We have all these governing bodies in the city of Indianapolis. We like governing bodies, but we didn't wind up liking this one because they seemed to try to thwart us. I mean, it seemed to be active. It wasn't passive. It was active. I got the sense they did not like the fact that we were doing this. We were actually doing this, and I think they actively went against us in lots of ways, so that we could not go forward with this. I mean, they didn't help us with anything, and they actually would not return correspondence at all. I think if I'm not mistaken, I thought Indianapolis got the TV rights, or at least talked to ESPN about this originally. And again, TV cabling, and I thought this was going to be a big deal. I really just wanted a little tournament to begin with. All of a sudden, I realized, hey, maybe we can do this. In retrospect, I wish I'd wrote the 7 mayors and held a little tournament, and that might have grown into something to become a national championship. But USA Cricket was the agent for ICC at the time, and I think they kind of felt hidebound to go through them. But I think ICC really wanted Indianapolis to take hold of cricket in North America. That was my impression. and I would have been happy to do that. I wish the city, I wanted the city to be happy to do that also, because Indianapolis is all about partnerships. But USA Cricket, the national governing body, seemed to be fighting us on it. And so then no ticket sales and all those other things kind of fell apart. And I think ESPN went away. And but it was not a pleasant experience dealing with USA Cricket at the time. And it's unfortunate, because I thought this could have been something pretty neat.
When you say dealing with USA Cricket, were you dealing with Darren Beasley, the CEO? Were you dealing with Gladstone Dainty? Or, as it were, not dealing with these people, since you said they weren't responding to your calls and messages?
The
latter, Gladstone Dainty. You met him in person back. I know there was a photo taken with Gladstone Dainty and Don Lockerbie together visiting with you in 2009. Gladstone Dainty is a lightning rod in U.S. cricket. He's a very controversial figure, long-time president of the USA Cricket Association, constant allegations of election fraud and other unsavory things in his tenure, because he served for more than a decade, and there was a lot of mismanagement. USA Cricket wound up being suspended 3 times by the ICC during his tenure until they were finally expelled in 2017. And so I think a lot of the curiosity from people outside of U.S. cricket is, how on earth could this guy keep getting reelected in spite of all these clear challenges and poor governance issues?
I didn't know anything about that. I'm just trying to help cricket in America, and I want to hold a tournament. That's all I cared about.
What was your relationship like with him then? From the first time you met him, I guess, what were your first impressions in your interaction with him, and what happened over the course of time?
Well, I don't know. I didn't deal with him on a daily basis. I eventually became staff to staff, and frankly, if he walked by me right now, I probably wouldn't know him. But he didn't give me the impression that anything was going to go wrong. But it was pretty clear that they were not happy with what we were doing, and I don't know if we were taking away his mojo, or I don't know what it was. But I just know that their staff, they became incommunicado. That's just what they did. And so you can't move on with ESPN and, all the people that I've got involved in this. And we grew this from zero. And all of a sudden I got 40 people in staff meetings. I got subcommittees. I got everything going on. And my partner, USA Cricket, is nowhere. And it was embarrassing, frankly. And so I was not happy, to say the least.